Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well and apologies for the long time no see. I thought I would try and do a really quick, because I'm sure none of you want to hear me talking for hours on end, kind of update video on where I've been. I've got another video ready to go, I just need to edit it and upload it obviously. But yeah, it's ready, but it feels wrong to upload it when I haven't uploaded for such a long time. So I thought I'd kind of do an update on me, just generally, and kind of why I've not been uploading, then each of the 4 horses, and kind of just what they've been doing this year, since like the last video, and then hopefully I can kind of get back into it, and that'll just be it then, and yeah, just go from there really. So generally the reason why I stopped uploading was because I just had so much on. So to start off with college, I'm at Hartbury, which if you don't know is quite a big equine agricultural sport based college, animal as well, and university in the UK, and it's surprising as you might think. I do an equine course and the amount of work it requires is absolutely unbelievable. There's not really so much work like in between bits, but the work for assignments is unreal. At the moment as well, I have an exam in January, so obviously that requires preparation, and then I have a assignment for horse fitness out, I have an assignment for behaviour, I have an assignment for working horses from the ground, so that's like lunging and stuff. I'm getting assessed practically for my lunging and working horses from the ground. I have just handed in an assignment about running an equine yard, and one about it's like kind of a bit like oh, I can't even think of the word, dissertation that you do in uni. It's kind of like that, but on a lower scale for college. It's like an investigative research project. So that is also taking up my time, and that's like an ongoing thing. So that the work, and it was the same last year, the work is just mad at times. On top of that, I do obviously have 4 horses, so that got on top of me too. And I was lucky enough this summer, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure you'll have seen, to have a lovely pony to ride who I was competing quite a lot, and we went to some championships, so I was away from home, and it was just all a lot of work. I then do bits of work on the side as well. I have work experience with college. It all just takes up so much time, and I just lost a bit of motivation, to be honest too, and I was just so busy that I just didn't film anything. But I'm doing okay. I'm trying to get on top of it all now, and as of like next May, June, I will be free from education and I will be moving on to just working. So hopefully around that I will be able to fit in YouTube more regularly, which I'd really like. But yeah, that is basically me. Now I'm going to talk about each of the horses individually. I will probably try and put photos and videos in throughout. I'll try and keep it brief. So I'm going to start with Archie. So for anyone that doesn't know, Archie is 12. He is Cob Cross Thoroughbred, and he's been my main dressage horse kind of like up until this year. He was diagnosed last December with arthritis in his knees, and since then it's been really hard to keep him sound. He basically had steroids in one knee, the worst knee for it, last December, and the vet was hopeful that would last for 18 months, and it didn't. It ran out, or he was starting to be like periodically lame in April, and the vet then decided that it would be the appropriate thing to medicate again with steroids. And he then got steroid-induced laminitis, which has then led to loads of issues. We've had to completely change. Well, he didn't have any food anyway because he's allergic to most things. So he's on a really low cereal, sugar-free diet anyway. But he's now got all his hay soaked. He's off the grass, obviously. But along with that, we had a lot of stuff like the vet thought he was progressing quite rapidly with his arthritis, and given that he's only 12, that was obviously quite alarming, and we don't want him on bute full time at the moment. It would be a bit different if he was like 18 or something. But he then had, we were instructed by the vet to kind of keep him only on a surface, no hacking, no pole work, nothing, just to ride him like 3 or 4 times a week. But we obviously found that wasn't keeping the weight off enough with the steroids. And then we decided that we would try and give him the best chance and inject with arframid, which is very different to the steroids. So the arframid, it helps put blocks in place, if you like, whereas the steroid kind of just covers the pain, whereas the arframid kind of helps to cushion between like the joints and stuff and stop them from like kind of like rubbing or causing as much pain, but it progressively to a point gets like better then, or it should if it works. It's not like an instant result like the steroids kind of is. So we did that, and since then, touch wood, he has been really, really good. I got to take him to the area festivals where he had 2 7ths, which was really good. Then we took him to Sheepgate. We weren't sure how he was going to be because he was going to be confined to a stable for 6 days, I think. And obviously at a show it's really hard. He's allergic to grass as well, so it's not like you can go and take him for loads of hand grazes. So yeah, we weren't sure how that was going to be, so we literally just did 2 tests. I took the pony I rode this summer, who did amazing. He had some great results. So we took Archie. He just did 2 tests. They split into sections, but I think he was no, I honestly can't remember. He was in the top 10 in both of them. His music, he was doing so well, and then he's a really spooky horse, and he saw 2 people walking down, the judges from the other arena next door, walking down the side, and had a complete freak attack, which brought his marks right down. But the judge absolutely loved his music, had 8s for that, so he'd have been much higher placed in that had he not had his moment. But we can forgive him because he was really good. He was sound and happy all week, which was kind of more than we were expecting anyway. And he kind of only came because no one wanted to look after him at home for us while we were away. And then we found out that he got a wild card for the Pet Plan like national championships, or summer championships, for his music. So he went there and he was amazing, and he did a really good test, but he was really early on in the class and he only got 66%, which at a big championship isn't horrendous. I think he was 18th, but it was one of his best tests, I felt. But anyway, it really doesn't matter. He was so good, and he coped again with staying away for the night. We had the worst journey to get there. We stopped on the services for literally to go to the toilet and grab a drink, and as we were coming down the stairs we could see these massive clouds of smoke, and my dad is like a lorry driver, he's very clued up on this sort of thing, and he was like, I was just like, oh, clouds of smoke, you know, and he was like, oh my god, like there's been a massive like something gone on there. And so we were looking for all the updates, and they were like that there'd been this massive vehicle fire, and it was by a overhead gantry, so some of the flames had caught it, so it wasn't safe. So thank god we were on the services and not stuck in it, because there was miles and miles and miles of traffic because of it, because they had to close like the whole side of the motorway. And thankfully the police very kindly let us go off, rather than sending us back southbound, along with another lorry that was also going to the area festival championships. So we managed to get off, but having 2 horses on the services, and the updates were saying it wasn't going to resume until like 8:30 at night, and it was like at this point like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, was pretty frustrating and quite scary. But we arrived and they were really good, and the pony I was riding came 7th on 70%. He was literally like point something off of being 4th, which was amazing. He was so good. And then the last thing he went to was the Coloured Horse and Pony Championships, which I did film and will upload that after this one probably. And he was really good, but he was just really spicy, like bronching everywhere. being super sassy. And then when it came to his test, it just didn't go great. But it was fine. He was still, like, he got 61%. He didn't completely disgrace himself. But he was, again, sound and happy, so it really doesn't matter. And that's kind of what it's been about this year. We're going to step away from BD now, because there's just no point, really. It's so stressful, and I feel, just since making the decision, so relieved. And, like, I can enjoy him much more, like, honestly, straight away. So yeah, that is Archie in a nutshell. I'm sure there's been other bits and bobs, but that is the main thing. Milo, who is my 5-year-old, for anyone that doesn't know, he's been super sensitive and super anxious. I'm sure if you followed our journey, you'll probably know that. But he's been doing amazing. He had actually most of the summer off while I had the other pony. Pardon me. Had most of the summer off while I had the other pony. He went on the occasional hack, so I had someone to hack out with in company. But other than that, he had most of the summer off, and it did him the world of good. Yeah, he's grown, he's matured, he's come back so much more confident, and really feels now like he can tackle whatever he finds an issue or worrying, rather than just getting really traumatized. And like, he wouldn't let me help him through it before. He just went and shut down into like a blind panic. But now he's been really good. He's had some amazing results. He's scored, I think he's had 3 70% plus scores at prelims so far. He won his first long arena last week as I'm filming this. He was just so good, and I'm so over the moon with him. Yeah, there's not really too much to say about him. I'm hoping next year will be his year, kind of. He's been such a good boy. He's been to a couple of different places too and been really good. He's registered BD, so we can go and have a go at that. And yeah, just get him out some different places next year, compete him, just let him see the world a bit and keep going. He's just such a good boy, and he's a really lovely horse to have. So I'm looking forward to the future with him. And that again is him in a nutshell. He's done nothing particularly interesting this year. Yeah, he's just been a baby horse, which I think is really important for them. He doesn't jump much or anything like that, because he's obviously he is definitely still growing. So yeah, there was just no point and no need really, and I'm really glad that it all worked out the way he did, and he had that time off this summer, because I just cannot tell you how different his attitude is coming back, and it just makes me so happy seeing how much more happy and confident he is. So yeah, that's him. Finn, who is my 4-year-old, he's a Welsh Section B. He's been a good boy. He's had not so much work again. He is only 4 and I'm on the taller side for him. So again, just pretty quiet. But he's such a good boy. For 4, I wish he was bigger, because he would be the dream. I can leave him for like 2 weeks and get back on. I don't need to lunge him. He's perfect. We did think about finding him a little friend, like a small child for him this year. But it didn't really work out, and he didn't have the work and the experience that he really needs. He's not a nasty pony at all, but and for me as well, because I'm obviously bigger and more experienced, I find him fine. But I can see how a small child that maybe isn't the most confident would potentially find him a bit sharp and a bit whizzy. And he's also had quite a lot of issues with how sore his teeth have been coming through. So he's kind of just been, yeah, left again. But he's doing so well. I had a little jump on him the other day. He was amazing. He's working really nicely. He's learning to stretch. In his walk and trot, he finds it a bit hard in canter. Again, his teeth and stuff are just not great. But he is going to be 5 next year, so hopefully it'll all kind of slow down and quieten down. I would have liked to have taken him to some shows, but I haven't had the chance. Maybe over the winter, if there's some, he might go. But yeah, that is him. He's just been so good. He's a bit like Milo. I'm just so lucky that he's such a superstar. He's been much easier than Milo. He's just so easy to pick up and put down and then pick back up again. And he's just generally the cutest little thing ever. And then his half-brother Fabergé has been very much left alone this year to grow and do his own thing. He's looking rather feral at the moment, and in need of a tidy up. But I sat on him 3 or 4 times maybe over the summer, just did a bit with him. He'll be 4 next May. So just sat on him a bit. I had an unintentional bit of trotting, but obviously he's a baby, so going forward is good for him. If he offers trot, I'm not going to tell him no. So he was, yeah, a really good boy to do that. But I think I need to go and revisit the groundwork again, because he wasn't the most confident at going forward. And I know babies are a bit like that and behind the leg usually anyway. But I think revisiting the groundwork will be really good for him, just getting him to really understand voice commands, which I always find helps so much. And then get back on him next year as a 4-year-old. And he's a funny one. He always acts very confident. He's quite bolshy, almost a bit coltish, even though he was cut when he was maybe just over 1. But he's very, very Welsh. He knows his own mind, but when you take him away from the others to go and work individually in the arena, he's not so confident. He was reverting to nipping and stuff, and that's just not very nice. But yeah, he was getting so much better. He was really starting to tackle his work positively. So I think hopefully having most of this year just to be a young horse, he's seeming to settle down now, which is nice. He's just so cute again, like Finn. But they're so different for half brothers, like entirely different kettles of fish. But yeah, that is kind of him in a nutshell. I've tried to talk really quick and just cover like the main points, so I hope if you've lasted this long, I'm sorry, it's been really rambly. But yeah, I hope that just kind of catches everyone up on the main bits, so you're all aware moving forward. And then yeah, hopefully carry on and make some videos, edit them, get them all up, and get back into YouTube a bit, because I do really miss it so much. And I've been watching everyone else's videos and I'm loving them, and I'm really into it at the moment. So fingers crossed college doesn't get too much this year, and it's Christmas soon. I've got loads of videos planned. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe so that you see them all, and I will see you again very soon.